Hello friends, I'm Colonel Failure, and this should be Transport Fever on the North Atlantic map. The downside, however, in fact the catastrophic downside, is that someone's been tweaking with their workshop uploads, and I suspect it is once again workshop entries that were uploaded without the permission of the original creator, and therefore the save game has ceased to function. Now, because I don't have an encyclopedic memory of exactly which mods I'd got installed, and obviously, you know, I never wrote them all down, that's that. Well, that was a great series. Thoroughly enjoyed it. In fact, that was the longest series of Transport Fever or Train Fever that I've ever recorded. But we can't close it there. We can't finish there. That would just be rude. It would be unjust. So what I've got for you is if you recall, and we'll have the correct piece of video showing here. If you recall, at the end of the last episode, I left you with a cliffhanger, which is a perfect way to end a series. I left you with a cliffhanger because I was uncertain exactly what to do with the new junction at Miami. So I put it out to you, the crowds, to decide exactly what should be done, and my intention had been to start today's episode with a rather splendid little gallery section before enacting what I deemed the winner. So we'll do the splendid gallery section, but you're all winners. Now, I couldn't include everybody in this particular run through because that would have taken 40 odd minutes. So I've picked some that either represent completely madcap ideas, or represent kick-ass ideas, or they are frankly just common suggestions. So they are, you know, the mind of the mass has got behind this singular idea. So they're either madcap, ludicrous, or they are the hive mind coming together as one with an inspired idea. So let's start here with Clifford. Clifford Carlson sent me this one over. This one, pretty straightforward stuff, to be honest. As you can see, we've got the rail bridge continuing there, but it takes a rather swervy, this is the red line we're looking at here, it takes a rather swervy route in order to allow the passenger lines to head underneath through the tunnel. That allows it means that we don't get any crossing going on. Nice and straightforward, and that was indicative of the several people who opted for a straightforward approach. And then, if we have a look at this is Francisco the First, whose full title is just a little longer than that. He's all for having a freight bridge going over the commuter track, which is fairly straightforward. And he's not the only person to have suggested that we abandon the downtown goods station, instead just finishing early. And numerous people said, just forget downtown Miami, leave it to the civilians. They can have that for themselves. And in this one, we had a new track to head down into a single platform station, with the American Express heading down on a route all its own to avoid all of that congestion, which is not not that unique an idea. This one was suggested by several people, particularly in the comments. Next we have Fused 84, who again is he's trying to keep it simple. That's what he's trying to do. But I'm not. I see. Look, we're running an additional double track. He's basically not touching the freight at all here. Leave the freight the hell alone. It's doing its thing. We double track platform 1 so that we can run the commuter service without it bumping into anything. And we add a new double track line from Atlanta in order to dedicate it to high speed. I think that's a decent suggestion. So it still runs through the station, so I could stop there if I wanted to. Relatively straightforward, that one. But making the double speed, the high speed line go nowhere near the freight, probably a good call. Next we have one of the suggestions that came in multi-format. This one, we came with, bringing the thunder. This is John Smith, name I'm sure is authentic. who provides not only the screenshot annotated, but it also comes with an additional track layout kind of suggestion. Now this one I really got my teeth into because it's got flying junctions all over the place. It's even got a junction off a flying junction. We're changing tracks left, right, and center. This is a kernel failure style build. This one, I'd have been very tempted to try and employ this one. Next up, Jonathan Nilson has gone to the effort of properly annotating things and explaining his working. So we've got the passenger line coming in from Atlanta, and then everything mixes up. You see, yes, it goes under. I mean, we're talking tunneling here, but then again, he's gone with the high-speed bypass, as it will become to known in other suggestions. So we could be stopping in Jacksonville. It seems like everybody was keen to call the station that was situated relatively near Jacksonville. Fair enough. Right, Martin, meanwhile, took my original request rather too literally when I said take a screenshot and draw some lines all over it. Et voila. Now, that actually has probably got more in common with how I typically lay things out than anything practical. But very good, Martin. Well played. Good job. Noah, meanwhile, opted to take a screenshot from a more illuminating, let's say, angle. Right. So we've got a station without the middle platforms to allow the goods to run straight through the middle. This is actually just a fairly elegant solution, and while it's still crossing, the crossing points are done in such a way that you've got numerous queuing places for goods routes, which would work just nicely. I really like this as a clean solution. Yeah, very cool. In fact, yeah, I like that a lot. Owen Duffy, meanwhile, as freight gets a flyover and it gets close to the station as possible. And we've got a purple line going on here, which is good stuff. One of the American Express only stops in each city one. I mean, it's a good one, but we are going. I got a bit lost. I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's not that complicated, but I got pretty foxed. And the crux of this one appears to be the flyover, the goods flyover that already exists. Fly it even more, pull a really sharp corner, and get it into the station. Well, Owen, between you and me, I think you're being somewhat optimistic there. I can see that one, flipping terrain alignment, colliding like a bandit. But anyway, thanks for the suggestion. Next up, Peter Richards has also gone for the extending bridge option and an additional American Express line and moving the commuter line as well. Yeah, I mean the American Express bypass line, as it has been came to be known. Put those words in the right order, will you? Yes, it is a very popular choice and obviously a likely one to work quite well. Skipper Chew, meanwhile, opted to go to Reddit to post this number up, and included a truck service in the setup as well, in order to demonstrate that actually I didn't necessarily need to run my goods service all the way down to the far end, because we could be connecting up, or the commuter service as well. The commuter service could just as easily hit both stations on this rather majestic circle, which possibly, well, you say circle, it's terribly angular. But there you go. Thank you for that one. Yeol the Clumsy, meanwhile, has opted for the flyover approach. Again, pretty simple. This is obviously the most simple. Is just fly over. Just, why are you making this difficult for yourself? Just fly it over the top. And I think if a combination of flying it over the top or tunneling it underneath, mixed with an extra high-speed line around the outside, would have clearly been the winner. Now, I'm going to read one out to you here because I've read it like 3 or 4 times, and I'm still not quite Still not quite there. And this is from HJW18. As the goods line comes off the bridge, tunnel it under the new passenger station and have it come up before the goods station, the area just before the main part of Miami. That way, there are 4 platforms the new station are free to do whatever with. Sounds pretty simple, but then looking at the screenshot, I was going like, well, where are we going to fit that in? That's a tricky one. HJW clearly a fan of the bulldozer and the senseless loss of life that comes from, deleting buildings left, right, and centre. Dusty the Lion and Playmoto also came up with cracking suggestions in textual fashion. I'll give you some highlights thereof. So coming out of Miami, this is Playmoto, coming out of Miami, keep the 2 platforms for passengers, but keep the right 2 for the freight lines, so that way you can segregate those 2 services and they keep working. Dusty, meanwhile, for he is a lion, he said the problem was likely to come up being the west to westbound connection from Charlotte, and if I've got enough room, extend the mega bridge quite a bit further, bring it down street side. So again, diving in there to the let's fly it over the top, and then we'll go from there. And there we go. That's it. So that's your series. Yeah, we finish off the series with not so much of a bang as a whimper. My apologies. This was certainly not what I had in mind to round things out. But such is the way of living with mods. Is if they disappear, your save game goes out the window. Ho hum. Anyway, thank you for watching the series. This will not be the end of the road, or rail, or sea, or aircraft route for Transport Fever. I will be back very, very soon. I've kept you waiting for this long enough, and typically I load it up and it doesn't work. I will be back momentarily with the start of a brand new series, so I hope to see you for that. Chuck a like at this one if you can be bothered. Frankly, I mean, no, I'll tell you what, throw a like at this one because you enjoyed the depth of skill that went into these fine diagrams that you have seen just now. Done that? Good. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so you don't miss out on the start of the new series. I pretty much figure most of you are subscribed already, but hey, just double check for me, would you? Just check it right now. I've been Colonel Failure. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch up with you very soon. And cheerio.